Hey, what's going on, everyone out there in YouTube land? So today we're going to have a look at a device catered to the newer vapor or for someone looking for something small and discreet. Today we're going to check out the new Joyetech Exceed D19 starter kit, which comes with the device and the tank. At the moment, I have some Hit That Cookie from Mike Vape's pistachio in there. Now I have two setups because they come with two coils. You get a direct lung coil, which gives you more airflow and more vapor production, and it comes with a mouth to lung coil, which is a more restricted vape with a lot less vapor. So we're going to have a vape off both of these, and you guys can see for yourself exactly which one is probably going to be right for you. Let's go with the mouth to lung, or I'm sorry, direct lung. Not bad at all. For such a tiny device, that was not bad. Now let's go with the mouth to lung. This one's more restricted, a lot less vapor. There you go. Now the Exceed D19 was sent over directly by Joyetech for the purpose of this review. If you guys are looking to pick one up or check one out after the video, I did do a Google search. Found a few websites that actually carry these, and the going price kind of varies, but the lowest price I found it for, $19.90, all the way up to $27.44, and the replacement coil heads, I found them for a 5-pack for $9.99. Let's have an up-close look at the Exceed D19 starter kit. The D19 stands for 19 millimeters in diameter. This one coming from Joyetech. Quick look at the presentation box. Very simple design. On the back, we do have what's contained inside the box with an authenticity sticker. Inside the box, you're going to get the D19 or the Exceed device. They're also going to include the Exceed tank, which will come with a coil head pre-installed. They will also include a different coil head and a second coil head. They're also going to include a spare glass tank with some extra O-rings. You'll get a micro USB charging cable and some documentation, which will include a user manual for the mod, one for the tank, and a warranty card. Overall dimensions with the tank installed, we're looking at 19 millimeters in diameter on the device, 19 millimeters on the tank. Total height from bottom to the top of the drip tip, 118 millimeters tall. It is available in a few different color options, and I'll toss those up on the screen right now. Starting at the top, we do have your 510 connection with a fixed 510 pin. It is not spring-loaded. Now, you can use other atomizers on this device, but primarily it's really going to be used with the provided tank. I probably wouldn't use any other atomizers on here. Now, the top right here is made of like a clear plastic because we have a LED light behind here. And if I hold down this button, you'll see the LED light turns white. And then if I hold it down again, it's going to turn red or orange. And what that is, we have two different modes. When it's set to white, that's going to be direct output mode. And pretty much it's going to pull all the voltage off the battery. So depending on how charged your battery is depends on how many volts you're going to get, and as the battery drains, the voltage will drop until your battery's dead. When it's in red mode, that's going to be constant voltage mode, and that's going to be a regulated mode, and this device actually gives you up to 40 watts. So if it cannot deliver the recommended wattage depending on the coil that you're using, it's going to tell you to charge your battery. Now, how do you know when to charge your battery? Well, the light is going to flash. So between 60 and 100%, the light will remain solid. Between 30 and 59%, the light is going to flash slowly. Between 10% and 29%, you'll get a moderate flash. And then between 0 and 9%, it's hardly going to flash. On the front is going to be your firing switch. Nice, clicky, responsive firing switch. And to turn the device on, it's going to be 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just be sure to select your mode before you turn the device on. And as you can see, the light is solid, which means I have a nice fully charged battery. Now, if you're wondering what it looks like with the tank installed, here's one I've been using, and you'll see the light ring actually lights up. The tank doesn't light up, but the ring around the mod actually lights up when you fire it, which is really nice. Now behind the switch, we're going to have your micro USB port. This one does offer charging over USB because we have an internal 1500 milliamp hour battery. And since it is internal, that means that we cannot remove the battery for any reason. At the bottom, you'll see the Joyetech logo laser etched along with the Exceed logo. If I can find it, there we go. There's the Exceed logo. And then at the very bottom, nothing really much going on. We do have a vent hole for battery ventilation. Having a look at the provided tank, this is going to be the Exceed D19 tank. At the top, we're going to have your Delrin drip tip. This is not a removable drip tip, which means you cannot use your own drip tips. It's kind of fixed to the top cap. We do have top fill on the Exceed tank, and to fill it up, all you're going to do is unscrew the tip, and that will remove the top fill cap. You'll have 2 fill ports along the sides right there. Below that, we'll have a 2 ml Pyrex glass tank, and remember, they do include an extra glass tank. At the bottom is going to be your airflow, and we have 1 air slot on one side. We don't have dual air slots because this is a tighter tank, has a tighter airflow, but we do have 2 airflow options. So we have a wide open air slot for using the direct lung coil, and then if you want something more restricted, if you're using the mouth to lung coil, what you can do is you can turn this airflow and you can expose those 3 little holes right there, and that will give you a much more restricted vape. And then at the bottom, we just have a standard fixed 510 pin. Now to break down the tank, if you're going to replace the coil head, all you got to do is just unscrew the bottom right here. And this will allow you to pop out the base along with the coil head. Now remember, they're going to include 2 coil heads, and as I said, they're going to be 2 different coil heads. You're going to get a EX 1.2 ohm mouth to lung coil, which is rated for 8 to 15 watts. And then you're going to get an EX 0.5 ohm direct lung coil, which is rated 20 to 35 watts. Now, the stainless steel or the silver one is going to be your mouth to lung coil, and then the gold one is going to be your direct lung coil. I believe they did this so that way you can remember which is which. Also, you can tell by the size of the juice holes that this one is going to be your direct lung, because it's going to pull in juice much quicker. And then this one, you can see the smaller holes. And also, if I zoom in really quick, you'll see that it's actually stamped on the coil head which coil you're using, the wattage that they recommend, the resistance of the coil. And since this device doesn't have any wattage adjustment, you don't have to worry about, you know, the recommended wattage, because it's automatically going to set it for you. So for the newer vapors out there, I'm going to show you guys really quick how to set this up if you're not aware how to set it up. What you want to do when you're first installing the coil head, go ahead and screw it down, choose the coil you want to use. I'm going to use the gold one, which is the direct lung coil. And since this is a brand new coil and we have fresh cotton, you guys want to make sure that you juice up your cotton or prime it just a little bit. You can either put a few little dabs of juice along the side right here, or you could just drop just a few drops down in the center. If you put too much, all it's going to do is leak out of the air hole. But you just want to make sure that you prime the coil head if it's a new coil. So put about 5 drops down in here. Doesn't have to be very much. And then once you do that, you can go ahead, you can screw down your tank. And keep in mind, you only do that when you install a new coil. You don't have to do it when you're refilling it. Go ahead and remove the fill cap. Take your juice of choice. Pick a side. Doesn't really matter which side you use. Go ahead and fill it all the way up to the top. Once it's filled, put your cap on. And I always recommend letting it sit for about 5 minutes when you're using a brand new coil, just to make sure that all the liquid has primed up that cotton, because you don't want to vape it and have the cotton dry. Then you'll get a burnt hit and you'll end up destroying the coil. So just to be on the safe side, I always set it aside for 5 minutes and then I start vaping. But once it's nice and primed up, just go ahead, select the mode that you want to run it in. So I'm going to hold this down and I got to turn it off first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's turn it off. Let's hold it down. I'll go in the white mode, screw it down, turn it on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm ready to vape. Now what's nice about this kit is that it comes with 2 different coil heads. You get the mouth to lung coil and the direct lung coil, because there's 2 different type of vapors out there. There's people that like direct lung with more vapor, more airflow, and there are people out there who like a tighter draw, less airflow, less vapor production. So if you're a smoker, currently a smoker, I would probably suggest the mouth to lung coil, because it feels more like a cigarette. It has that tight draw, and it doesn't give, put out that much vapor. You're not going to be blowing big clouds, but you'll still get that nice throat hit. Now, if you're currently a vapor, I would probably go with the direct lung coil. You'll get more airflow. You're going to get more vapor production. But there is one thing you want to keep in mind. I've noticed that since these devices are really small, you're going to want to bump up your nicotine level. So, for instance, I'm currently a vapor, of course, and I do 3 milligrams on all the higher wattage tanks. Vaping a 3 milligram in here, I feel absolutely nothing. So, you want to bump it up to 6 milligram, 12 mil. I would probably say 12 milligrams would be perfect if you vape a 3 milligram. I think a 12 milligram in one of these would be good. Possibly even a 6 milligram if you do 3 milligrams. All right. Now, if you're currently a smoker and you're going with the mouth to lung coil, I would probably start off at like a 24 milligram and adjust from there, because you're getting less airflow, less vapor, and you still want to get that nicotine fix that you get with your cigarettes. So you're going to want to at least start off at 24 milligrams. As far as flavor with these devices, they are smaller, using smaller coil heads. It's not going to be like tremendous amounts of flavor like you get with an RDA or something like that. But the flavor off these things is actually not that bad. Also, what I like is the simplicity on these devices. I mean, they're very simple. You got the button on the front. You got your USB charge port on the back. There's no need for, changing out your batteries, knowing your battery safety, knowing which resistance you have to use. None of that. You just screw down your coil, fill it up, and vape. Easy. It does have a 1500 milliamp hour battery. You'll have to charge it a few times a day to get you through the entire day. And it really depends on how much you vape. If you're a chain vapor, you will charge it a few times a day. If you're only using it at work, on smoke breaks, it's going to last you the whole day. So it really depends on how much you vape. And I forgot to do a size comparison in the up close to kind of show you guys what it looks like compared to another device. But here's your typical pod system right here. It's kind of like a Juul. It's not really a Juul, but just to give you an idea of like a pod system, here it is next to a pod system. And as you can see, I mean, it's a really small, it's like the size of a magic marker. Just, one of the Crayola magic markers. That's pretty much how big it is. So you could slide this in your purse, in your pocket, wherever. Just be sure that you turn the device off when you put it in your pocket. Very important. You don't want it to automatically fire on you. And we're not going to do any pros and cons on this because it's pretty simple. I kind of just talked about it. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a nice, simple starter device, something that's not going to break the bank, something that's very easy to maintain, easy to use, I can highly recommend the D19. Like I said, it performs well, no issues with it, very simple to use. Even if you're an experienced vapor and you're just looking for something that you could put in your pocket and vape in some discreet locations, I think it might be a really good choice. All right, so that's pretty much going to be it, guys. That's all I got for you today. If you have any comments or questions on the D19, please feel free to leave them below. I can't talk today. It's Saturday. I lost myself. Let me start again. No, I'm not going to start again. Where did I finish off at? I forgot. Comments or questions, leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.